The title is not clickbait. I think I'm already over my cold. Now, I don't know what to call it other than a cold because I have a sore throat and just like post-nasal drip. And I guess that's kind of cold-esque. But anyway, when I recorded my last video on New Year's Eve, December 30th, I started having that little, tickle in the back of your throat that's like, oh, you start getting it around 9 p.m. and you're gonna wake up tomorrow, you're gonna feel like absolute shit. And I had that. And like I said, it was like at 9 o'clock at night, I was just doing my thing, getting ready to go to bed, and I started feeling that little, scratchiness in the back of your throat, like you just want to shove your hand down your throat and scratch at it. And I was like, oh goodness gracious, I am getting some sort of yuckiness, and I don't like it. And I know exactly where I got it from my oldest sister, because she was sick, and she's been sick for like 2 weeks, and she won't go to the doctor because she's a creature. I know that's where I got it from. I was kind of really sick yesterday, but it wasn't like bedridden sick. And I wasn't really sick on New Year's Eve either. I actually went to work that day because I felt like alright. Like other than just a sore throat and post-nasal drip, I felt fine. I didn't have a fever, I didn't sneeze, I didn't have a runny nose, I didn't cough, none of that. So I was like, okay, I'll go to work today because I have the first off. And I did that, and then I had the first off, and I kind of felt a little bit worse yesterday than the day before. So when I came home yesterday from work, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have a little bit of soup, I'm gonna drink plenty of fluids, I'm gonna have a little bit of Sunny D, and then I slept. I slept a lot the 31st. That night. I slept a lot the night of the 1st. Now, during the day of the 1st, I didn't really take a nap. I was just exhausted. So I just kind of laid in bed and bed rotted most of that day. Just getting up and doing a few things like taking out garbage, doing some paper towels, getting a bath, the basic stuff to keep yourself going. But yeah, no, I took it very easy yesterday, and today I went to work for 8 to 3, which... I am so happy that I have finished my 8 to 5 shifts and I'm back to 8 to 3. But not to get off topic. I went to work today and I felt pretty good. This morning I had a little bit of a cough, but it was a productive cough. I was kind of coughing up a little bit of stuff. I could feel it breaking up in like my throat, my chest. I have not been nauseous today. I was really nauseous the night of the 31st and the 1st because of all the drainage. And then I had a little tiny bit of a runny nose, but then again, it was really cold out this morning. And my nose kind of does that when it is cold. So that wasn't unexpected. Honestly, now I feel pretty good. I mean, my throat is still kind of like remnant sore, but it's miles better than what it was. Which means that I have been sick for a grand total of maybe 3 days, and I'm already kind of over it. Now, this evening, I mean, it's like 4:30 now. This evening, I may just completely crash out and like go to bed and like lay there like a little Victorian child dying of consumption. Take them outside to see the sunlight in the garden one last time. That very may well happen, but I doubt it. Which means my immune system is like crazy. I've always had a very weird immune system. It freaks out over nothing. But then when I actually need it, it shows up and it works overtime for no extra pay. And I know where I got it from. I got it from my mother. When my mother was, I believe, 10 years old, and this would have been 1968 or 69, she got rheumatic fever. And her mother, who was a nurse, never took her to the hospital. Why did she never take her to the hospital? All I can assume about knowing this woman, who is, quite honestly, should have never been a mother, is that she probably wanted her to like just pass away, just like pass away in the bed, like go in there one morning and find that she'd pass away from, or succumb to the rheumatic fever and just be like, well, let's mouth the feed. Honestly, I'm pretty sure that she literally did not care whether my mother lived or died or not. But that's a whole nother house of horror stories, to unravel. Anyway, ever since then, my mother always had like rheumatism really bad, she had a really bad immune system that was constantly like giving her ailments. My mother had really bad psoriasis. Now I'm lucky I don't have psoriasis, and I hope I don't get it because it's not pretty. But I do have some skin issues that are directly correlated to autoimmune overactivity. And when I was very young, I used to get very random anaphylactic reactions. I mean starting for like 4 or 5 years old, and I would swell up. All my joints would swell up and go stiff and warm. I would get hives all over, rashes, and this would go on for like a week. I know I would do this to the most random things. I remember once it was a slice of cake. Another time it was like a little snack cake from, I can't remember the name, Bird's Eye maybe. Other times it was a flu shot. Other times it was latex. Other times it was lemon. Other times we didn't know the cause. My immune system decided that my life was not interesting enough and I had to spice things up a little. And the last actual anaphylactic reaction I had was when I was about 22, and I believe it was to shortbread cookies. But I didn't react really badly. It was something that I physically actually took care of at home. I did go to a doctor, but it was like they gave me some medicine for it temporarily and it cleared up within a few days. But this past July was the first time in like about 3 to 4 years I had a reaction, and I didn't even have anaphylaxis. I just got very ill from eating nuts. Now, I've eaten nuts before. In fact, before this event, I had eaten nuts like earlier that month, and I don't eat a whole lot of nuts, but I ate some just to, you know, have a little snack, and I was like, fine. But for some reason this time, I got very violently ill. I had to go to the hospital. I couldn't drink any water. I was like, I don't even know how to describe it to you. I was so sick, I threw up, and I had never thrown up in my life, except for maybe when I was like teeny tiny, like 3. When I threw up, I was like, fuck, I need to go to the hospital, man. So I waited till my sister came home from work that night, and I went to the hospital. And now all of a sudden, I've like developed this weird reaction to nuts. It's gotten a little bit better over the months. I still get very nauseous when I eat something with nuts in it. Bringing it back to my immune system, it does the weirdest shit sometimes. I don't know what it does. I've asked it before, like, hey man, look, you gotta tell me what's bothering you, you know? Like, I know I got some issues. I know I did not hit the genetic lottery, but you gotta work with me, man. You gotta tell me what's up. And it's like, no, I'm not telling you anything. And I'm like, well, fuck you then. And then it's like, no, Uno reverse card, and then randomly have a reaction to nuts. My immune system works in very mysterious ways. It is completely overreactive for no reason at all, very unnecessarily reactive. And then when I actually, like when I'm fighting a cold or something, it's like, we ain't having this shit. And then I'm over a cold in like 3 days, and then during that time where I'm having a cold, my skin clears up dramatically because it's not like, you know, causing my skin to do whatever it does. And then once my cold is over, it's like, well, back to the old grindstone, back to attacking your skin cells for literally no reason. I had COVID back in 2022, about July of 2022. Now, I never got really sick from it, but I remember laying on the sofa for like a couple days and being like, fuck, man, I'm sick, but I'm still alive and I'm not in the hospital. You know, like, and I was only really sick for about like 5 days, and then I got over it, while everybody else that I knew that got it was like sick for like a week or more. So I was really lucky there, but yeah. I don't know, man, like my immune system, it's a piece of work, okay? 99% of the time, it's attacking my body for no reason. But then that 1% of the time where I'm sick and I need it, man, I can't even complain. It does what it's supposed to do. Anyway, that was just a little update for my New Year's resolution. I wanted to start making videos once a week at least, and this is just kind of me trying to get a schedule, even if it's not much, you know, even if it's just me talking for a few minutes. And I hope everybody had a good New Year's Day. The New Year's Day first, oh my goodness, America, what are we doing? America, please. It's what we didn't even get 1 day in America before we started blowing ourselves up. Like, come on, we can do better. I hope we continue to, can't even say that. I can't even say continue to have a good 2025. The first day was absolutely horrible. Like, what, 20 something people died? But let's just mark that day off the calendar permanently. Let's try again today, and let's have a good day, okay? Please. This is Florida Swamp Cat. Have a good day, y'all, and have a good 2025.